Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mercy and today I'll be teaching you how to increase your breast milk supply from literally nothing to this. I've heard a lot of people say things like, oh, I don't have enough milk for my baby, or my baby takes too much milk. And I just want to tell you today that breast milk doesn't work like that. Breast milk is based on the demand and supply. If you place more demand on the breast, there will definitely be more supply. So, regardless of how hungry your baby is or how many times your baby wants to eat in a day, you would always have enough milk for your baby. So, there's nothing like a hungry baby when you're placing the right amount of demand on the breast. I'll be telling you 5 steps to increase the breast milk. The first thing is place more demand on the breast. Now, you might be thinking, how do I place more demand on the breast? So the answer is whenever the baby is hungry, let the baby suckle. Breastfeeding is not easy job. And if there's any mom out there that's currently breastfeeding their babies all the time, I want to say thumbs up, you're doing a good job. But if you're looking to increase your breast milk supply, then this is the right video for you. You would have more than enough to feed your baby. I would always advise new moms to get a breast pump. You have to get the right breast pump. Now, I have a whole video about how to know the right size, because if you have the wrong flange size, then it's not going to work. If the flange size is too big, you would not be maximizing your pumping time. If you're pumping for 30 minutes, instead of you getting up to, let's say, 90 ml, you'll just be getting 40, 50 ml because the flange is wrong. And also, if the flange is wrong, it will be pulling in too much areola. Your areola will start to scar, you might bleed, and that will just totally discourage you from pumping. And if you get too small pump, it would be pulling your nipple. The flange will literally be scraping your nipple, and after like 1 or 2 pumps, you would really be discouraged because your nipple might start bleeding, your nipple might crack, and that is nothing as painful as having a bleeding nipple, guys. I had that, I suffered that, and I suffered that for a few months, and I was literally crying because it's so painful, and your breast just gets so engorged and you cannot pump because you're in so much pain. And it's worse when the baby is teething, because this baby might just do at any point, and I cried. It became a team project to get my breast healed. You need to get nipple measurement first before you get your pump. You need to measure the size of your nipple. If you want to know how to measure your nipple so you can get the correct size of breast pump, then you need to click the link in my bio to find out how to measure that. So when you get the correct pump, you need to make up your mind if you want to get a variable breast pump or if you want to get a regular breast pump. So there are various types of breast pumps. There's the manual breast pumps that you have to pump yourself, like press down. I wouldn't advise you to get that one because it's so much work and discouraging, especially when you've just started breastfeeding a baby. So if you're a new mom, I wouldn't advise you to get that. You shouldn't be getting that as your main pump. It can be your backup pump, but not the main one. There's also the electric breast pump that you plug and you sit down to pump. The issue with that one is that whenever you want to pump breast milk, you have to stay stationary. You can't walk about, you can't, let's say, do dishes or just do one thing or the other to kill time as you're pumping. So you have to stay stationary. So if you want to be a bit flexible to do one thing or the other, then you need to get the wearable breast pump. The one I currently use is the V-Bar breast pump. That's the one I currently use. It's so good. I paid 65 euros for that one, and I've been using it for the past 9 months, or maybe it's 9 months now. And at some point I used to pump like 6-7 times a day. I was probably like a crazy person at that point. But now I no longer do that. I pump just 3 times a day. I didn't take just breast milk, and I express all the time actually. My baby rejected the breast a while ago. That will be in another vlog, but let's just focus on what we're talking about today. But in order for you to increase your breast milk supply, I'll advise you to get a wearable breast pump. And the third thing you have to do to increase your breast supply is to get a nipple balm. You don't want to get a cracked nipple. You don't want to have a bleeding nipple. Those things are so painful and they can be so discouraging, especially for the first 4 or 5 minutes when you start the pumping session or when the baby latches to the breast. It is so painful. I have a whole video of how to pump and what to avoid while pumping. The one I currently use is the Lashino brand, and the nipple cream is so good. Get a tiny bit and put it around your nipple to make sure that while it's being pulled into the pump, into the flange, that there's a bit of lubricant on the nipple and it's not just rubbing the flange and getting stressed and cracking. So ever since I started using nipple balm, my nipple stopped cracking. So you need it in order to avoid having a cracked nipple, in order to avoid having broken skin and getting your nipple irritated. The good thing about nipple balm is that when you have it on the nipple, you don't need to wash it when you want to pump. You don't have to wash it when the baby wants to latch on the breast. So it is edible for babies, so you don't need to wash it up of when you want to pump. The fifth thing and the most important thing you need while you're breastfeeding is to drink water. You have to drink water because the fluid has to come from somewhere. So your body needs to get the fluid from somewhere. So if you don't have enough fluid in you, you can't really make enough breast milk. Forget any breastfeeding tea, breastfeeding chocolate, breastfeeding this, breastfeeding that anyone might recommend to you. What you need is water. I had my baby in December, so it was quite cold. For my body to feel warm when I take the water, and for me not to get discouraged from taking water, I was always warming up the water. And like twice in a day, I could take like tea bags. So if you love tea bags, you can take tea bags. I'll put the maximum amount of caffeine you can take as a breastfeeding mom in my bio. So go down to my bio and read everything I have in there, and there'll be loads of details about safe breastfeeding. Whatever you like to do it while pumping. So if you like to read a book, grab your book, and while you're pumping, you can read your book. If you like to watch the news, you can do that. Whatever you like to do, you can do it. And some people would, do house chores while they're waiting for their session to be over. So you can do your house chores, do whatever you want to do, but just make sure it's not like you're thinking about the amount of milk you want to feed your baby next. The next thing I would say is you need to make sure not to go more than 30 minutes per session. So when you're pumping, sometimes we can feel like we've not emptied the breast enough. You need to give your breast a break. So pump 30 minutes and then wait about 2 to 3 hours before you start the next session. And when you first start pumping, you might not get enough. This is a picture of what I got the first time I started pumping. And if you compare it to what I started getting after, the gap is just too much. And I've been able to feed my son up until this stage. I have enough to feed him, and I still have more in the freezer. And that's just because I take enough water. In order for you to increase your breast milk supply, there's something called power pump. You start your day by doing 30-minute session, rest 30 minutes. Do 20-minute session, rest 20 minutes. Do 10-minute session, rest 10 minutes. Do 5-minute session, rest 5 minutes. And then for the rest of the day, you can pump every 3 hours, and at night you do the same thing. 30 minutes, rest 30. Do 20 minutes, rest 20 minutes. Do 10 minutes, rest 10 minutes. Do 5 minutes, rest 5 minutes. So I don't know if you remember the second day when you got back from the hospital, baby placed so much demand on your breast. That was to send a message to the brain that there's a baby here. You need to increase the supply. There's a baby here. The baby needs to feed. So they usually call it a night of no sleep. That's what we were told. That's what I was told when I was pregnant, that the second night is a night with no sleep. In fact, they actually had a class on how to survive the second night with the baby. We need to make the breast feel like the second night is happening again. So it triggers the brain to produce more milk. And when you do that like 1 or 2 days, by the third day, your breast milk would have increased drastically. If you do all the steps and if you do them correctly, there is no way your breast milk would not increase. I checked my bio and you find the links to all the items I've mentioned in this video. If you have any question on how I was able to increase my breast milk supply, you can send me a message or you can just put that in the comment section and I'll respond to the question. Most important things are to keep hydrating yourself and just keep putting the baby to the breast, keep putting the pump to your breast. So if you feel like your baby was not able to fully empty the breast, put your pump there and pump for 5 minutes, pump for 10 minutes, pump for 15 minutes, but don't go past 30 minutes. The more you remove the milk, the more the brain sends signal for more milk to be made. So you need to keep moving the milk for more milk to be made. Drink water. Don't stop drinking water. Just drink water, but don't take too much. The recommended amount of water you should be taking in a day is about 2 liters for a woman. So don't take too much so it doesn't lead to water intoxication, because water intoxication can be deadly and it can lead to death. So make sure you're not taking too much water, but just take enough for your body to produce enough milk for your baby. And don't forget to like this video, share this video with your friends and families that have babies and would like to breastfeed or just struggling to breastfeed their babies. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. Thank you. Bye.